Without looking it up, can you name 5 lesbian actresses who are Oscar winners? Can you name 5 gay actors who have won Emmys? Without looking it up, can you name just one lesbian or gay actor who is an Academy Award winner? I'm sure most of you couldn't, so you see we have a serious problem here. When white actors play characters who were meant to be people of color, there's backlash. When able-bodied actors play as disabled characters, there's backlash. There's even backlash when trans characters are played by actors who aren't transgender. Yet sexual orientation is the only thing that's overwhelmingly played by straight or opposite-sex attracted people and is fully accepted with zero backlash. I'm going to go over the reasons why homosexual roles in shows and movies shouldn't be played by straight or opposite-sex attracted actors. Or at least, not so much. The first reason is that it creates less opportunities for lesbian and gay actors. Christy Martin is a former professional American boxer and motivational speaker who is currently having a movie made about her. She held the WBC female super welterweight title in 2009. And lastly, Christy is a lesbian. She said she was aware that she was a lesbian from 5th or 6th grade and had homophobic parents. Now, take a wild guess who the actress that will be playing her is. Heterosexual registered Republican Sydney Sweeney. They saw a long list of lesbian actresses right there. Katie O'Brien, Patricia Velasquez, Clea Duvall, Louisa Jacobson, Ruby Rose. But the people making this film ignored all of them and decided to cast a homophobic Republican who is currently dating one of the most evil and misogynistic men in Hollywood instead. Imagine all the struggles you must have gone through being a lesbian and a boxer in the 1990s just to see this is the kind of woman they got to play you in a movie. Not just a straight Republican, but someone who sells her used bathwater to men and looks nothing like you. This isn't the first time Sydney Sweeney has played in a lesbian or same-sex attracted role. She even got famous from a show about a lesbian. So it's just weird to me that, of all people, she keeps getting these types of roles that should be going to someone else. But lesbian actresses can just go fuck themselves apparently, because Sydney Sweeney, an already successful, rich, privileged, straight woman getting her I, Tonya moment, aka her feminist role where she doesn't appeal to the male gaze just so men might stop sexualizing her for 5 seconds, is more important than lesbians getting actual representation. She gets to break free from her usual hyper-feminine sexual roles, while lesbian actresses continue to go unnoticed and underemployed. So progressive. She's done getting money and fame from being feminine, now she can get more money and more fame from being masculine. Just groundbreaking. And then comes the most annoying overused argument. Oh, it's just acting. Who cares the actors are straight? That's what they're meant to do, act. Does the fact that sexual orientation isn't visible suddenly make this okay? It was just last year that for the first time in history, 2 openly lesbian and gay actors were nominated for an Oscar for playing gay roles. And that's just for being nominated. Here's Katie O'Brien talking about her role in the lesbian movie Love Lies Bleeding.
Because for so long, I feel like I haven't been allowed to play a queer character or like it's queer coded because I don't know, it's me.
Air quotes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the listener.
Because I have short hair and like a square jaw. And so like, okay, that character's gay. Because none of my characters before ever did anything. But it's funny that like that people just assumed that they were gay. And I was like, no, it's actually kind of interesting to me that no one will cast me as a gay character. Like I had auditioned for gay characters for so long. And anytime I saw who wound up being cast, it was always like someone was very, very feminine or that was straight oftentimes.
Even the actor who played Damien in Mean Girls, Dano Franzese, who is gay, has said he couldn't find work. Let me put it into perspective. Imagine if white people could play roles as people of color, both fictional and real-life figures, and then win awards for it.
I see no good reason why an actor of any race can't play any historical figure. It's acting. Queen Charlotte, you got Queen Charlotte coming out from Shonda. Then the internet be internet Muhammad Ali. Snow White. Queen Elizabeth II. Y'all are so immature. Polar bear. Leave the animals out of this, please. Martin Luther King. What? The man who stood against the naked. Get out of here. Obama. Simone Can he be snooped? Please. Rosa Parks. I ain't finna move. Netflix presents Black Panther. Under the sea.
We can can laugh about it because we know it will never happen, at least not without a widespread uproar and negative feedback. Imagine the outrage if the majority of live adaptations of historical non-white figures were played by white people and you only saw white actors winning Academy Awards and the excuse given was, "Oh, who cares? It's just acting." But homosexual people don't get to have real representation just because sexual orientation is not a physical trait? How is that fair? But the straight actors might actually be gay or bisexual and in the closet. You're just pressuring and forcing people to come out. So apparently, lesbian and gay actors who are already out of the closet and looking for work can just get shoved to the side because of the slight chance of a straight actor being bisexual is more important than an already out and proud lesbian or gay actor putting food on a table. Here's what Billy Porter, an out gay actor, had to say about this on The Hollywood Reporter.
It's a double layer. The layer of actually being a person of color in this industry, and then the other layer of being a queen.
Yep.
Nobody can see you as anything else. If flamboyantly ... wasn't in the description of the character, no one would see me ever for anything. Which wouldn't be so enraging if it went the other direction, but it doesn't.
Right.
Because straight men playing gay, everybody wants to give them an award. Thank you for gracing us with your straight presence.
Yep.
So that gets tiresome.
Yep.
So here I sit, I can't get the gay parts, I can't get the straight parts, I can't get nothing.
Yep.
The last pilot season I went through, it was that over and over and over and over again. It was a couple years ago. And my sister calls me on the phone and she catches me right after one of those like dismissive, you're too flamboyant calls. And I just went in. I was just crying. I had to pull the car over to the side of the road. I was like, I can't. Like, your body doesn't know that it's not real. The emotions, your body still goes through it's like, I can't keep putting myself into this position where I'm always begging.
But you can't just ask people what their sexual orientation is at auditions. Yes, I'm well aware that sexual orientation is a private matter, but again, what the fuck is stopping casting directors from casting lesbian or gay actors who are already out and proud? You might argue that there are just more straight actors, so it's harder to find lesbian or gay actors. But that's not really true. There are several out gay actors in the US and other countries that have good gay rights.
I want to expand on a video I made a few days ago discussing how the LGBTQ plus population is neither as small nor as statistically insignificant as some people would like us to think we are. So for a fun comparison, let's talk about what we would be like if we were a state. With 18.9 million adults in the United States, we would immediately become the 5th most populated state after New York. State speed round. In terms of population, we have more lesbians than there are people in the state of New Mexico. There are more gays than there are people in Utah. As to our economic impact, we already know that LGBTQ plus business owners contribute $1.7 trillion to the American economy. That is roughly the GDP of Canada. So I'll say it again. We are not a statistically insignificant group of people in this country. Do not let people who say that make you feel small.
The second reason straight and bi actors shouldn't play gay roles is because real people are actually affected by the casting decisions and not just the actors themselves. Imagine a young lesbian or gay kid watching a movie and seeing same-sex love being represented for the first time, and then imagine them looking up the actors to know more about their experiences being gay, trying to find sort of an inspirational gay role model to learn about their struggles and life experiences and how they overcame them, just to see the actors are married to someone of the opposite sex with kids. Except, that's the constant reality, and that's all they see.
When I discovered the lesbian TV show The L Word in my teenage years, I finally understood I would not only be able to find love with a woman, I would even be able to find a community. And when I saw Anne Plus for the first time, I realized I wasn't the only lesbian with a complicated dating life. Being represented in the media matters. For a kid, seeing someone represent you on television offers validation. It shows you are not alone.
But then, when you see that the actors who play these roles are not in fact gay, it's back to feeling alone all over again. But everyone always prefers to have straight and bi actors, some of whom are even controversial people, to play a gay role than to have an already out lesbian actor. Do you think all these actors who play these roles genuinely care about gay people? They don't. They're just here to use LGBT audiences to get rich and famous. At the end of the day, it's all just gay for pay. They leave set, Drop the mask, go home and forget homosexual people exist, and get to forget and ignore the real struggles and oppression we face. The rest of us don't get to do that. They don't care about lesbians, they just want to make money off of sexualizing us. So then, should only mothers play roles of mothers? Should only people who wear glasses play characters who wear glasses? Anyone who makes this stupid argument is just homophobic and intentionally missing the point I'm trying to make here. Imagine trying to compare wearing glasses or being a mom to being an oppressed minority group. It's not even close to the same thing. So, should straight roles only be played by straight actors then? I mean, sure, if there were just as many gay characters in films as there are straight ones. For every lesbian or gay fictional character, there's 100 more heterosexual ones. So until that number is even, then you can make this argument. And it's not like I want lesbian or gay actors to be stuck only playing roles solely focused on their sexual orientation. Because homophobic casting directors will use that as an opportunity to push gay actors aside and only remember them for roles about being the token lesbian or gay side character. Reason number 3. A lot of straight and bi actors suck at playing gay. It's true that some actors are actually good at portraying lesbian love on screen, but for most of them, that's far from the case. Like in Taiji Els, for example. It's so obvious that a lot of these women have never kissed another woman before and most likely never will again. Here's Tasha Smith, a straight woman, talking about how she played in a lesbian role for the first time in her career that I know of.
When Jerry and I had our love scene, I didn't know how women fucked, okay? And when they said, and it was time for me to have sex, and they said, you get on top of her. So I opened my legs wide, and I started trying to get on top of her. And she said, bitch, this ain't how you do it. And I was like, well, bitch, show me how to do it. So we ended up doing that sister thing y'all do. Oh my God!
They're laughing like this isn't just utterly embarrassing and sad. Other out lesbian actresses were perfect for this role. Golda Rosheuvel, Lena Waithe, Karen Robinson, but again, they get ignored and keep being underrated. And it's not just intimacy that lesbian actors are better at for these roles. This brings me to my next reason. Gay actors do in fact make the characters they're playing more authentic.
So it was interesting to me. The fact that for Love Lies Bleeding, they were really, really trying for authentic casting, I found really beneficial, obviously, because I actually got to play a queer character, but it allowed me to actually, I think, lend, a little bit of my personal experience and a little bit of my truth to that character that someone that hadn't had any of those experiences might not have fully been able to express.
And they make the character more authentic behind the scenes too. For one, gay actors would be more likely to speak out against writers or directors wanting to include homophobic stereotypes. Like in Pitch Perfect, the only lesbian character, Cynthia Rose, her entire gimmick was just to portray the predatory lesbian stereotype, which is a shame because Cynthia Rose was by far the best singer in that movie and had the most potential. I couldn't find any information on what the sexual orientation of the actress Esther Dean is, but if they casted an out lesbian for that role, she definitely would not have let them go through with that lesbophobic crap. And before you ask, yes, a lot of actors do have that kind of power to say what they want or don't want represented when it comes to same-sex attraction. Like in House of the Dragon, it was the actors who pitched the lesbian kissing scene idea. Gay actors have lived and have been through the experience and actually know what it's like to be gay. The fetishizations and dehumanization of lesbians in movies wouldn't be as common if the roles were played by lesbians themselves. Which brings me to reason number 5, homophobia behind the scenes. Just because a lesbian or gay movie is being made doesn't mean the people making it are allies. It doesn't automatically mean the cast and crew involved aren't homophobic.
I had worked with an actress before that, I had to do a kissing scene, and she said she was comfortable with it, and it turned out she was very uncomfortable with it, and it made me feel gross. Yeah, it made me feel so gross because I don't want to make someone uncomfortable. And I was finally like, look, what's the safest thing for us to do here to get the scene done without me even touching you? Like, I wouldn't even air kiss you,
You're describing typecasting, but in the opposite way that I would assume. I feel like we hear a lot of conversations around not casting queer people in queer roles. And you're saying that people almost hesitated to cast you in queer roles and then would choose rather someone hyper feminine or like a straight person.
They don't want actual lesbian actresses getting roles and becoming successful. They don't want lesbian audiences to get real representation. and casting hyper-feminine actresses for lesbian roles appeals more to straight audiences, especially straight male audiences, both to sexualize them and to give these homophobes comfort, knowing these women aren't actually lesbians in real life and are still accessible to men. Notice how you almost never see masculine, butch, or stud lesbians represented in movies. That's not a coincidence. Even in animated movies and shows, people of color still get casted to voice characters of their own race. So why is it so confusing to people that we want the same when it comes to gay representation? Except in animated films, gay people are just villainized.
Talking about queer characters in media. Today, let's talk about why Disney villains always seem so gay. In the 1920s and 30s, there was a moral panic in the United States of what conservatives saw as a lack of decency in films, and queer representation was a part of that quote-unquote indecency. In 1934, the Hays Code was passed, forbidding indecent content on screen, including homosexuality. Heroes were not allowed to present with the traits society was associating with queerness. However, villains could. Captain Hook, Jafar, Maleficent, the Evil Queen, Scar were all written as flamboyant social outcasts. Our tentacled Queen Ursula is perhaps the queerest of all the Disney villains. The Little Mermaid was originally a story written by a gay man, Hans Christian Andersen, about his inability to reach the man that he loved. It was then adapted to Disney by another gay man, Howard Ashman. But it is important that we see ourselves in the heroes and the protagonists too, and Disney still has a long way to go in that regard.
It's also beneficial to lesbian and gay actors to get cast in gay movies because it can help create more acceptance for the actor themselves. Like when Ellen came out on her sitcom show.
Why did you lie?
Because I didn't want you to babysit my kids.
Why?
Ellen, I have two very impressionable little girls at home, and I think I have a right to know a little bit about the person who's taking care of them. Like, do they take drugs? Do they drink?
Wait a minute. You're equating me with an alcoholic or a drug addict? Because, being gay doesn't impair my driving or the ability to play chutes and ladders.
I don't want to get into a big argument here. I'm just protecting my kids.
From me.
From the things I think are wrong.
And you think who I am is wrong?
I think homosexuality is wrong, yeah.
I think I liked it better when you were lying to me. Ed, let me ask you a question. What if it turned out that one of your kids was gay?
My kids are not going to be gay. We're bringing them up right.
My parents brought me up beautifully.
Ellen DeGeneres made history as the first primetime lead on network TV to come out of the closet. It was a breakthrough moment for the lesbian community. 44 million viewers tuned in to watch the puppy episode, and the show was able to depict some positive lesbian representation, which was rare at a time. The few lesbian or gay actors who have won Oscars were still closeted at the time. Actors often lose opportunities after coming out, and casting only straight actors isn't helping. I'm sure it won't be surprising to learn that straight actors get paid more than gay actors for playing these roles. My last reason for why straight actors shouldn't play gay roles: irritating fan service and queerbaiting. This is especially common in Thai GLs. These actresses, most of whom are straight or bisexual, engage in a lot of hardcore fan service where they act like they're an actual couple offset. Some of them even outright lie about their sexual orientation and about actually having romantic feelings for their on-screen love interests. Here's Thai GL actress Lukmihi Punyapat, who starred in Affair the series, claiming to have feelings for her co-star Sonia Saranfat.
ถ้ามีคนมาถามว่าแบบรู้สึกดีกับคนแบบพาร์ทเนอร์คนที่เล่นอยู่บอกความรู้สึกจริงนะมันคือไม่ได้โกหกเลยรู้สึกว่าจับเขาแล้วเรารู้สึกจริง
No matter how much I wish this was true, she probably just said this to make her fans happy. These actresses constantly act like this, cross that fictional line, practically make themselves a brand, and get surprised when their fans actually starts to ship them. You can't blame them for believing what these actresses are selling. You can't blame them for getting mad that some Thai GL actresses were caught having a secret boyfriend when those same actresses basically lied about being lesbians and acted like they actually had feelings for their co-star. What did they expect the fans' reaction to be? Like I said, queerbaiting. I have so much I want to say on this issue, but I'll end video here. Thank you so much if you watched to this point. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.